Google just got fined $5 billion by the EU for antitrust violations. Stay tuned to find out why. Get weekly tech news, product reviews, and how-to videos. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next upload. What's up everyone, Mitesh here with MTech, and yeah, Google is in trouble with the EU again. So yeah, to give you guys a little bit of a backstory on this, so the way Google works with Android manufacturers is it tells them that, okay, you can have Android for free. It's an open source OS and you can put it on whatever you want. They can't control it. But if you want Google's Play Store and you want Google Maps and search and all that, you have to sign a contract with Google, and then they'll force you to make Google Search and Google Chrome the default for your Android device. And this is the part that EU has a problem with. So EU feels that Google is using its dominance with Android and the Play Store because, once again, you need the Play Store to get all of your apps, and really, without the Play Store, your Android device kind of sucks. So without that, and obviously without all the other Google services, your Android device really isn't very good. But EU is arguing that because Google is taking its dominance in one area with the Play Store and using it to leverage dominance in browsers and search and stifling competition. So this is the part that they have the biggest problem with, is they feel Google is stifling competition from other browsers like Firefox and Opera and whatever else there is out there that's available for Android. They feel like because of the fact that Chrome is the default, people are not finding the other things. Now, Google Search is still the best one. I think people would still pick that anyways, but in browser area, they feel like that there's more competition that can be did. And they also don't like the fact that search is the default. They want people to have a choice of it. So they're fining Google $5 billion and giving them 90 days to change their practices. Otherwise, they'll probably give them another fine. Now, in some ways, I kind of get where the EU is coming from. Google is using its dominance with Android and the Play Store to get dominance in mobile web browsing as well with Chrome, but in some ways, I kind of disagree. I mean, mobile Chrome is pretty good. It's actually one of the best browsers out there, but you know what? Most people will never ever see if there's any other things that's better for them. So they may want privacy, but they're never gonna go find Firefox, Focus, or whatever else privacy browsers there are, because the default is Chrome. You already have the default, you're not really gonna go look for something new. This is very similar to what Microsoft did back in the 90s when they bundled Internet Explorer with Windows, and they also got fines. And in case you guys don't know, they actually had to settle with the EU and they had to make a choice. So when you installed Windows, you actually had a choice of what browser you got put on there. So you had the choice of like Internet Explorer, Firefox, and whatever else, and you have to constantly update that as well. Microsoft had to update it. So this is not the first time EU is doing something like this, but this is the first time that EU has done it to Google. Now, a lot of people would probably argue that iOS does a much worse thing where they don't even allow other browsers to use their own rendering engines. Instead, they're all forced to use Safari's rendering engine. Even Chrome on iOS, using Safari's rendering engine, they can't use their own VP8 or whatever it is now, Blink. But yeah, so iOS is much worse, but here's the reason they're finding Google and Android. It's because Android is 80% of the market in the EU, and it's actually 80% of the market overall in the world. So because it's so dominant, much like it was with Microsoft and Windows, that's why they're finding them. Google, for its part, is arguing the fact that you can set another search engine as your default. You can download other browsers from the Play Store and set them as your default. But the truth is, 90% of consumers will just use the default on the phone. So there's this power of the default app that I think they're just pretending doesn't exist. But I don't know what I feel about the story. In some ways, I'm with the EU and I want them, I think it'd be great if Google gave you the choice when you're booting up an Android phone for the first time to give you a choice of search engine and browser by default, so you can go ahead and pick whatever you want in case you don't want Chrome and Google as your default. And I definitely think that is the better route than letting manufacturers make separate deals, because you know Samsung is going to go out there, make a deal with Microsoft and have Bing as your default search, which, oh God, nobody wants Bing as their default search, you guys. Nobody does. So yeah, if Google could go ahead and go that first route before they're forced to do it the second way, that would be great. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys in this one. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Do you guys think that Google is in the right and they should not be forced to change anything? Or do you think that the EU is correct in what they're doing? yeah, just really curious because I'm really not sure what to think about this story at all. I mean, it's still not going to be done for a while yet to come, so we will see what happens. But yeah, with that, that's pretty much all I have for you guys in this one. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!